The following is a live sports event featuring the Abernathy Antelopes or Lady Lopes. This broadcast is a presentation of the Abernathy Sports Network and may not be altered or used in its entirety without the written consent from the Abernathy Sports Network. Today's broadcast is made possible by the fine supporters: MC Master Roofing and Construction, South Plains Auto Ranch, Clark Riley Insurance, April Funeral Home and Flower Shop, First Baptist Church, JC's Refrigeration, StormGuard, Plains Land Bank, Nutrient Ag Solutions, the Junkin Farmers Market, MZJ Variety Shop, Shallowater, Rooted Revival Hair Salon, Chance Rocha, Edward Jones Financial Advisor, Code 3 Soda Shop and Meat Market, Lasso Electric, Webb Vision Center, Hill Vet, WTX Diesel, West Texas Brick and Stone, Rural Roots Medical Clinic, the Farmers Cooperative Compress, First State Bank, DB Media, Ty Horsford Realtor. Again, thank you for tuning in tonight's live sports event. It will begin shortly.
And good evening, Abernathy, Texas, and good evening, fans of the Abernathy Antelopes and Lady Lopes. Welcome to Outside the Box, another Wednesday night where we take a look at all things Abernathy in and around the community, the school, athletics, and everything in between. Glad you're spending part of your Wednesday night with us, or if you're checking out the recording, glad you are doing that as well. As we might have a little bit shorter of a show like tonight than typical, but then again, it is Chance and I, and we like to talk, so sometimes we still fill the time. But glad you were with us here tonight as we will put a wrap on football season. Chance, obviously, we've got that to talk about later in the program. Basketball season is upon us, and lots of Thanksgiving week and pre-Thanksgiving week festivities going on in around the school here this week, and we'll dive into some of that. But as always, we will begin our program tonight with a look around Abernathy ISD.
A look around the ISD, Ty, and kind of start things off, the Golden Antelopes, which is the program that they're doing with the
grandparents.
Yeah, sorry, my cable's tangled up here. The grandparents and any other, I guess you would say, older adult that's in the community that wants to be a part.
The wiser adults among us.
The seasoned antelopes here in Abernathy or in the surrounding areas, I guess. If you have kiddos or grandkids that are involved, those meetings that they've been having once a month, I believe, they're going to combine those ones. And so November and December's meeting is going to be on December 12th at 10 a.m. in the big room at the school. And so they're going to have that. And I know that's been going really well. I think it's good to keep them involved, to have them understanding what's going on at the school. And I know Mr. Hill, that's something that he was excited about starting. And I think that there's been a good turnout for those meetings, Ty.
Yep, absolutely, Chance. And playing off of that, our campus principals, all three campus principals, are taking part in a Texas Instructional Leadership, or TIL, program to enhance their skills in providing powerful feedback to teachers, building strong, positive cultures on their campuses, using data to drive instruction and growth, and support continuous improvement in every classroom, Chance. And one thing I thought was cool about this is not something that is required by the state or even by our district. This is help that our administrators asked for, and in areas they thought they could grow in and be better in. And it just is another prime example of those leading our kids and those leading our campuses, just taking the extra step just to be the best they can be and be the best leaders they can be for our teachers and our students. And it's one of the many reasons I feel like Abernathy is such a special place to call home.
For sure. Well, I mean, just the fact that they want the opportunity for growth and to be able to build strong students and be supporting to the teachers and the staff and everyone around. And it just goes to show you the ways that those administrators kind of go above and beyond of what they're called to do, for sure, Ty. kind of moving along, Abernathy Middle School, they just competed. And again, we always talk about the middle school. They're giving back.
We do. They do all sorts of things.
They do. They just completed their canned food drive. They stocked the pantries for 6 school families, and they supported Lubbock Impact, and then they also refilled the school food pantry. So I
didn't even know they had that. So
yeah, and so it was kind of a 3-factor thing. They wanted to provide for some families here locally, and then, like I said, they give back to that Lubbock Impact program that they have students that go to Lubbock Impact and volunteer, and then so they kind of wanted to help them out, and then also kind of having their own food pantry that is there at the school to help students or families that may be in need throughout the school year too. So, man, that middle school, Miss Nick and those administrators, they definitely have them going and giving back for sure.
Yep. And Chance, we all know that we've got an extremely strong music and band program at Abernathy ISD, and a couple of middle school students to recognize Paisley Burrell and Nehemiah Ramirez were both named to the ATSSB Honor Band. Paisley Burrell, 3rd chair clarinet, and Ramirez, 6th chair clarinet. And that's apparently a very competitive thing to get into, a band to make. And they're going to perform on January the 24th at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center. And so a great job for those band kiddos is I know after Christmas they really hit their concert season hard.
Yeah, they hit their concert season hard, Ty, and just kind of getting prepped for all those things. And marching season is tough because all the things they go through and the coordinating and the after-school practices and stuff like that. But concert season, it's a different sound, and it's something that our band, they're great in marching season, but they excel just as well during performance and concert season and with the honors bands and all-region band and all the things they can try out for. So I know for sure my daughter's definitely excited about this time of the year because she has all the different honors bands and everything she can try out for. So they take it very seriously, and Mr. Knight and his staff, they do a great job to get those kids motivated for sure.
Yep, absolutely, Chance. And I'm pretty partial to this next thing we're going to talk about, and I think this is really, really cool. I wish they would have had something like journalistic opportunities whenever I was in school. Definitely would have taken advantage of that. But we had some middle school journalist students who attended the Joey McGuire Texas Tech radio show, I believe at Rudy's Barbecue, I think is where they do that. And this is kind of a field trip learning opportunity type thing they do every year with the broadcast students. And they had an opportunity to have their questions answered live on the air. They met Joey McGuire and Chance. They met Jacob Rodriguez.
There you go.
And pretty cool opportunity for the journalism students. This program led by Mr. Castillo at the middle school, and that's just a really cool thing for those kids.
It definitely was, and I talked to one of the parents, and not only did they get to go in and see how that works, having the live radio show and what that looks like, and then also they got to ask questions if they were able to, but just the fact that you got to meet some people, Joey McGuire, great head coach, great guy, and then another person, Jacob Rodriguez, who's just an amazing football player, but also just a great human being. And I know a lot of the students were excited about that. They showed me, I guess somebody had gotten something signed, and one of them got like a Rice Krispie from Rudy's or something signed. I thought that was pretty fun.
I mean, whatever works.
Whatever works. And so, but I know that they were pretty excited about that. And like you said, just for them to get that exposure and that experience early on, that's something that's super special for those 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to be able to do that and have an opportunity to see something live like that here locally, especially with Texas Tech being such a polarizing story right
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very cool. Sticking with the middle school, Chance, all things middle school going on right now.
For sure.
Junior National Honor Society members within the last week or so, they spent an afternoon volunteering at the South Plains Food Bank, and they represented Abernathy very well. Kind of each semester, those Honor Society kiddos, they've got a service project that they do, and this was kind of this year's service project, but just another way those middle school students giving back and just being good human beings.
For sure, and just like you said, having an opportunity to, they plan those out on both sides of the semester, but I think just the fact that it's not just, some schools it may just be your honor society or it may just be a certain group. It's multiple different groups doing multiple different things. So like I said, those middle school, they keep them busy and keep them going and just teach them how to be great human beings for sure. So, And we know all too well about this next one, Todd. The Abernathy Elementary is finishing up their fundraisers for parents. If you're listening or watching, money is due tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're doing the flowers that are kind of for the holiday season. They have the different flowers that they're selling with the different scents through Scentsy. And I know the kids, if you sell at least 5 flowers, they get a pizza and a pajama party. If you sell 20 flowers, I believe they get their own Scentsy animal, whatever it is, stuffed whatever. And so some cool incentives. I know anytime they do those things, those elementary kiddos get super, super excited about it. And so I know my kiddos sold enough to get the pizza and the pajama party. Not sure if we're going to.
Yeah, we won't get that extra bonus prize. We're tell you what, we're probably not the best example of fundraisers in the Horsford household. We usually the night before are like getting with grandparents or whatever and making it happen. But
sometimes that's what happens, Ty. But I know it's exciting for them, and it makes it hard sometimes when you have multiple kids at elementary that are all selling it. But I know it's just something that gives those kids that opportunity to go out and ask those questions and tell them what they're raising the money for and all those kind of things. So that's a cool fundraiser they did, Ty. And then today,
Gobble Gobble,
the elementary school hosted their annual turkey run. I don't know how many years in a row this is, but I know it was exciting. I think, it was started a few years back, and the new Coach Klein and Mr. Coach Martinez kind of kept it going with the new staff. And
Coach Klein was the pilgrim today. I liked it.
It was
obviously our principals and Mr. Hill, they were dressed up in the turkey onesies, but I'm not so sure Coach Klein didn't steal the show.
He did. He came out and I was thinking, is that John Smith? What's going on here? But it was fun. I know we're excited, and all the kids love it. They enjoy it. They get to chase the turkeys on the gator and race each other. And the older groups, they got around. I think it's about 800 meters.
It's a pretty long
it's pretty
distance.
Long. It's a pretty long distance. Around the campus, and then the younger groups they kind of run. Basically, it's a little bitty grass area, but they still have fun doing it. But no matter if they win or lose, all the kiddos have fun. It's something different. It's something exciting to get them excited about Thanksgiving and going into the break. But congrats to those top 3 winners in each grade, and they all get to go home with the Thanksgiving turkey, Ty, and that's exciting for them for sure. And
we did not bring a turkey home to our household.
We were close. We got 5th in kindergarten, but
there you go.
That's all right.
I think we were 7th in kindergarten, so
it was a tough one. So, and some of those kiddos, talking to some parents, I know one dad said that his son was going up to the school every day this week until to run the course.
I saw another one that was like running on the treadmill last night, and I was like, I don't even know if my kids realized it was today until we woke up this morning. But
for sure. But some of those kids, they have that.
I like it though. I love it. I like
get
it.
Excited, and I'm sure a lot of those kids probably the.
And I tell you what. The number of kids that I guess because they're running so hard or trying so hard, the number of kids that fall or trip or turn ankles, it's like all or nothing for the turkey trot.
I know for sure. There was in 3rd grade, there was a couple kids that fell or got tripped. In kindergarten, same thing. But man, they're running hard. Like I said,
last year my daughter ran flat out of her shoe right out of the gate. Was behind the 8 ball to begin with. We kept our shoes on today, so it was an all win in the Horsford household
for sure
today. Thanksgiving fun continues tomorrow as it's kind of the big Thanksgiving lunch served in the cafeteria. Lots of parents and maybe some grandparents are going to be eating with some students tomorrow.
Packed house.
Chance, I even saw one of my kids' teachers. Said if they've got students that won't have anyone there to eat with, they're going to eat with them. So just a cool thing that gets to happen at the elementary school. If you are a visitor getting a lunch, that is $7 a meal that can be paid once you get there in the morning. So just keep an eye out for that. And then Chance, how about the AHS Twirlers?
Yep. They competed today in the UIL contest. We don't have a for sure result of that, but we'll probably have that for our next show. But I know they competed. They were, that's kind of in partnership with the band. They do some of the stuff, but that's just kind of like the cheer and the color guard and all those things. They also have their own competitions that they go to. So I'm not sure how they did exactly, but hopefully they were able to advance. And I know that they were excited about their competition today. So hopefully we have some good news on our next show, Ty.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a quick look, Chance, at outside the box. Obviously, there's plenty going on on the fields and courts and all the likes as we take a look at this week in sports. And we will start on the hardwood, chances. We'll put the recap on football here in just a little bit, but everyone hitting the hardwood this week. Not everyone playing games, but everyone at least practicing or playing games, as both the junior high girls and boys took on those New Deal Lions this week, and a pretty good showing by both of our junior high programs. 7th grade girls beat New Deal, while the 8th grade girls fell just short to the Lady Lions. And then it was a 7th and 8th grade boys sweep of New Deal. So those teams do a really good job, and they will be back in action when they host Jayton the 1st of December. And so keep an eye out for that, a chance to go watch them. And I would imagine, I know Jayton's a small school, but they typically are really good in pretty much everything. So I figure that'll be a good challenge for our junior high teams.
And luckily, Jayton is coming here. I know for sure the boys are playing. Not sure if the girls are, but I know for sure the junior high boys will be playing Jayton. And like you said, they're typically a good program that they run there in Jayton. And Ty, I'll tell you what, that 8th grade and 7th grade group, that's a tough basketball group for the boys side. It is for the girls side as well, but I know the 8th grade girls have had some injuries, and so they're dealing with some of that. But I mean, those groups are super, super strong, well coached, and they're very, very competitive on all aspects of the game for sure. So
it's always nice when you can beat your rivals from right down the road.
Man, I'll tell you what, that 8th grade group, that was the only group that lost, those 8th grade girls. I'm not kidding you, Todd, that group from New Deal, they have 2 girls on that 8th grade that are probably 6 foot in 8th grade girls.
That's impressive.
That's one of the reasons that's a tough team to face. And so,
yeah, no doubt.
And I know that from last year going to those games, because last year New Deal had 2 7th graders that were tall, and then they had an 8th grader that's tall, but they're in high school now. But I do know that one she's on varsity this coming year for New Deal. So
yep. Awesome. Then Chance, Lady Lopes, they're
a gauntlet.
They're running through the gauntlet again, just like they did a year ago. They actually jumped into the TABC rankings this week at number 23. They actually had gone 0-2 since we were last with you, but that's a big but, as they fell short 65 to 49 to Class 4A Estacado on the road on Saturday, and then they stayed on the road last night, and they went up to Canyon, Chance, to battle Canyon Randall, which is a perennial power and a bigger school as well. And you battled the Randall Lady Raiders to a 57-50 loss. Again, another 4A school. And Abernathy going to be ready for district, because they are really challenging themselves here in the preseason early going.
They definitely are, Ty. And, it's not going to slow down at any point. Both the varsity and the JV girls are going to start, I believe, tomorrow in the Slayton tournament. And not sure exactly the schedule for the JV girls, but I did see that the varsity girls are going to play number 19 Stratford, number 10 Whiteface, Trinity Christian, and then number 11 Seminole.
That's wild, man.
And those are games that you're scheduled to be in that Slayton tournament, so you knew, okay, whoever's going to show up there, but you don't know who you're going to draw, because you're not even playing Slayton, which Slayton is ranked as well.
They're really good. I think they beat Idalou the other night.
So, but again, you're playing 2A teams that are both ranked in Stratford and Whiteface, and then you're going to play a number 11 Seminole who's ranked in 4A and who's been a perennial probably the last 5 or 10 years maybe in basketball. And so just some good competition that they're going to face.
You could go 0-4 and play well.
Yeah, you definitely could. And I think that, that Stratford team is going to be tough, Whiteface as well. Not sure about Trinity Christian. They're, you never know with those TAP schools, but typically they're a pretty solid squad as well. And so
then Seminole will be the real deal.
Oh, for sure. They're definitely going to be the real deal. But good luck to them. And then after that, they're going to go to that tournament. And before we get back, they're going to travel next week, Monday and Tuesday, back-to-back. They'll go to Littlefield and Lorenzo along with the boys. And then, guess what? Then they're going to go play number 6 Clarendon at Clarendon.
Man.
On the 2nd. And so they're just rolling through, Ty. So once we start to pick them up in that district play, they're going to be well tested. That's for sure.
Yep, no doubt. JV varsity boys, they are going to open their season on the 24th of November. That is next week. They will be on the road at Littlefield, and then they go to Lorenzo as well on the 25th. And then they host number 9, Whit Harrell, a smaller school, on December 2nd. And so the boys, they finished up football, and they're going to be hitting the hardwood hot and heavy as well.
They will, Ty. They're going to start the season just outside the top 10. They'll be at number 11 in the TABC rankings, and that's just due to you lost one senior. I mean, that's really all you lost from your squad. You're getting back kind of your leading scorer on all aspects, Darian Duvall. He's your lone antelope that's also listed as one of the AJ top returning players. He averaged 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2.5 steals last year. So kind of look to build around that, and kind of curious to see what the squad's going to look like. You know, you only lose the one senior, Ty, so you got the majority of guys coming back, but then you do have some guys like Ryan Hillis, who wasn't really a basketball guy, but he may be playing basketball to keep the agility.
No doubt.
You don't know if he's going to try to go play football somewhere, if that's going to change things, if he's going to want to sit out and kind of bulk up. And, you know, you may be getting Case Micheletti back, Colt Micheletti when he gets back for injury, some guys that may be moving up from JV. And so it's going to be interesting to see, but I think there's some high hopes, and as you can see by their ranking, I think they're expecting that varsity Lope squad to be pretty decent this year.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. And we'll preview more of the boys here in a couple of weeks when we hit Outside the Box. We'll probably be off next week, but then we will try and catch up with Coach Drew Thompson and chat a little bit about the boys' basketball program here in a couple of weeks. And so stick around for that. Chance, what ended up happening Friday night in Hereford, kind of somewhat what we expected. It started off well as Abernathy played really, really well out of the gates. Started with some momentum, took a 14-13 lead into the halftime locker room against number 4 West Texas, and then it kind of all came falling apart after that. It was a 30-0 second half in favor of West Texas, and the Comanches end your season with a 43-14 win on Friday night over the Abernathy Antelopes. And Abernathy, Chance, just did not have we talked about one of the keys to the game would be containing the quarterback run game for WT and Cade Winters, the senior. You did an okay job of that in the first half, but then in the second half, you just kind of got worn down and he ran wild.
Yeah, he got worn down, and some of that was just depth and different positions and just some wasn't able to get in the groove on offense, so your defense ends up being on the field a lot. They kind of hit you with the surprise on side, so they get the ball back to back. And so, you know, you couldn't have scripted a better first half, and then you couldn't have scripted a worse second half for the Lopes. Just like I said, they got kind of overpowered from a team that West Texas has done that to just about everybody, including, you know, Panhandle this year, and it's just they're well coached, they're sound, they're fairly sized up front, and you know, Cade Winters, he knows what his strength is, and the coaching staff knows what their strength is, and they play to it, and they just kind of challenge you to stop it, and if you can't, they're going to keep doing it. So.
Yep, absolutely. As Winters finishes the night 197 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns, coupled with a 110-yard performance by running back Kelby Sherwood for the Comanches. In all, Chance, almost 400 yards of offense for WT. They outgained you 397 to 274. Kind of your lone bright spot on offense. Another strong effort from Malachi Walters playing his final game as an Antelope, Chance, the senior. He finishes with 110 yards rushing on 12 carries. And really, the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, he was kind of your main bright spot on offense, other than Caden Bird as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think your last 2 games for sure, the game against Post and then, you know, this last one, he just runs hard. He plays the game the right way, and he just wants to go out there and kind of put forth his best effort. Not that the other Antelopes didn't. He just kind of had a couple little spurts where he was able to be the bright spot, especially this past week. And you just were, like I said, you started off hot in the first half and had some good quality things happen, but just kind of struggled in the back end. And offensively, you just didn't have an answer, and you were kind of playing from 3 scores down. It was hard to even kind of get any rhythm on anything. But interesting, though, Jagger starts against post and then kind of aggravated that shoulder again. So Cutter Johnson ended up getting the start at quarterback. He threw for just about 100 yards, and you kind of had a situation where Jagger Wiley was still kind of leading but playing more of a tight end role, and it was more so of trying to get your skill position guys on the field, some guys that could make some things happen. But like I said, you had some success early on, and then you just couldn't pull away, and West Texas just kind of overpowered you in the second half, and you end your season 5-5. Not really how you wanted the season to go, but through all the adversity, all the things that happened this season, all the injuries. I think to be 5-5 and to still make the playoffs and keep that playoff streak from 2009 going, Ty, I think it would. You'd probably say this team definitely battled, and I'm super proud of them, and I enjoyed definitely covering football this season for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you always want to win 8, 9, 10, 11 games and make a deep run, but just in the reality of it, for most programs, Chance, that doesn't happen every single year. And this was kind of just one of those years for the Antelopes that you just kind of had to battle through a bunch of adversity and different things like that. And so the Antelopes in their season at 500. Congratulations to WT. They've had a fantastic year.
Yeah.
11-0 now, and they will move on to face the Holly Bearcats in the second round of the playoffs, and so be interesting to see how that one pans out this week, Chance. And as we take a look at how our district fared in the postseason, kind of what we thought could happen ended up happening. The only team from our district that beat the team from that Panhandle district north of us was New Home. Our number 1 seed beat Highland Park, their 4 seed, 57-18. But then those other 2 matchups, Spearman doubles up New Deal 42-21. Interesting note, Chance. Spearman moves on to take on Anson. That game going to be right here in Abernathy on Friday night.
Right in our backyard. They're going to take on Anson. And so if you're in town and you have nothing else to do on Friday, maybe go see some football and see what that playoff looks like for Spearman and Anson, and see what some of the teams look like that are still in 2A. And then kind of what we expected. Maybe we expected to be a little bit closer, but Panhandle and Post, Panhandle kind of handles business. I mean, Panhandle's been picked by a ton to win the region, even though they didn't win their district.
Yeah, right.
And so, but that team, Panhandle, moves on. They're going to take on Cisco, which that's probably going to be a pretty tough game. And then New Home, like we said, beats Highland Park, and they're going to take on Stanford. And so it's interesting to see, too, Ty, all the teams out of District 3, I believe, they swept. District 4 did not have a single person advance on past by district. Mm-hmm. We at least had one.
Yeah, right, for sure.
But that team, that district down south of Ozona was the lead team in that district, and so that probably put a damper on Ozona's season. They were trying to get the record for their running back, and I think he was just short of it. I think he needed to play 12 games and get like 300 yards, and I think he was just short of that, only playing 11. But that's how the Cards handle, man. That district up north, District 1 and District 3, they're just tough sometimes.
They're really hard, yep. So. No, you got some traditional football powers in those districts for sure. And so Chance won't be able to talk football for the future shows, unfortunately.
We'll talk Texas Tech.
There you go. Hey, we can do that. Hopefully there will be a lot of positive things to talk about Texas Tech.
This week, Ty.
We can't even talk about them this week, though, because it's a bye week. But, hey, they're hanging tough. Number 5 in the college football playoff rankings that came out yesterday. And, Chance, it's looking more and more probable that they'll be playing for their first Big 12 championship game here in just a few weeks, as long as they can take care of business in that season finale in good old Morgantown, West Virginia.
Yeah, and that's a place that can be scary.
It'll be cold and rainy.
Yeah, and it can be scary, but I think you're expected to win. West Virginia's not good, but hey,
you never know.
Talk to A&M. They were expected to blow out.
I don't want to have to score 28 second-half points to get a 1-point win.
That's exactly right. But, no matter how you draw it up, A&M still gets the win. They're still ranked high. They're still undefeated. But I'm sure all the A&M fans and everybody were super nervous. But I know everybody in this area that there's Red Raider fans. I think they've already bought their tickets for the Big 12 championship game, whether it was single tickets or hotels or whatever it may be. But, I mean, can you blame them? I think it's all but inevitable that they're going to be there, and we'll see how the cards lay. But if you do it, as much as we want to host a playoff game,
you might get a bye if you win. If you win your next two,
heck, Todd, they were talking about Georgia. Think about this: Georgia's ranked ahead of you. They may not even make the SEC championship.
Oh, I know.
And they may get a bye, so they may get 2 weeks off to prepare for a game. How crazy is that?
Don't get me on the SEC bias. we could do a whole hour long show
right
on that for
sure.
Out
of those teams, I think A&M or Georgia are definitely the best two.
Yeah,
A&M is going to have to figure some things out. They can't do what they did, and granted, they could say, well, y'all lost to Arizona State. Well, we also didn't have our quarterback, and we only got beat by a couple points.
Tell you what, Indiana, they're having kind of a Cinderella season, kind of like Tech is, and that Indiana ball club is good. It would be interesting to see a Tech match up with the Hoosiers at some point. That'd be a tale of two really good stories, but I just hope we're in games like that here in a few weeks.
Yeah, well, I hope that you're not only in them in a few weeks, but I hope moving forward you're not just a one-hit wonder.
100%. And I don't think you will be. No. Seems like Coach McGuire and company really building a program that is going to be around for a while. The recruiting classes now for multiple years in a row, ranked in the top several in the nation, top of the conference. Really, Chance, you had Oklahoma and Texas. They leave the Big 12.
That opens the door.
That opened the door for someone to take the reins. And so far, that someone has been Texas Tech.
Yeah.
It could have been a Texas Tech, or it could have been an Oklahoma State or somebody like that. But right now, Tech and Oklahoma State going in opposite directions. And sure. I'm glad we're on the right side of that one.
Well, I think you are for sure. And I think just the college landscape and the backing that you have between Cody Campbell and Patrick Mahomes. And I think you're not just recruiting guys, you're recruiting good people, good players who are leader on their team, guys that typically haven't bounced around multiple times. Just knowing how to go after them, James Blanchard, the GM or whatever you want to call him, but I think that they just do a good job of bringing the right people that are going to buy into the right things and want to be a part of something that isn't just about the paycheck. And
for sure,
I'm not a huge Kirby Smart fan. From a standpoint of a coach or whatever it may be, but he did say something that was pretty funny, and he said, if you're coming here just for a check, you might as well not come because we're going to be physical if you're coming up here. And I like that. I like that idea. Like,
for sure.
You're not coming here to get just to get paid and to do those things. We want you to come here and know that you're going to work.
But those coaches that have been successful in this new age of college athletics, Joey McGuire leading that group, it's not all about the money, but they had to embrace the money because it is here. Yep. And the programs that didn't embrace it, your Oklahoma States or Clemson or whoever the case may be, look where they're at right now. They're trying to
right the ship
and figure it out before it's too late. And you've got programs like Indiana or Texas Tech, Georgia, Texas, obviously A&M throwing out all kinds of money. Yep. But like to your point about Tech specifically, I can't speak as much to the cultures at some of those other places necessarily, but you're getting good people, and you're getting guys that are easy to root for. Your Jacob Rodriguez's and Bailey's, and the list could go on defense. Wisniewski, I mean, they're all good, but
for sure.
Just it's I've been a Tech fan for a long time, and I've been waiting for a season like this for a long time, and hopefully we are here to stay for a while.
Well, I think it's not just about athletics, and it's not just even football. I mean, you see success that they're having in all the other aspects because success breeds success. Basketball, women's soccer, even women's basketball has done great this year. Track and field, and hopefully baseball gets back on the bandwagon.
And I was like, just to that point, I was watching the Lady Raider basketball game the other afternoon, Sunday, I think, when they were playing Arkansas, and they were obviously honoring the 1993 women's national championship team. But at halftime of that game, they did a really long interview with Marcia Sharp, and she spent half of her interview talking about our football team. I mean, they were there to talk about the '93 national champion, and
she's excited.
But I mean, it's just she talked about how that '93 team. There's a lot of similarities between that and like what's happening with our football program now, and just talked about how it's almost like a big high school at Texas Tech. Is your coaches support each other, your athletes support each other, and it's just one big family. And you had that whenever you had College Game Day here a few weeks ago, and all the different podcasts and personalities here. They'd leave Lubbock talking about if you just need a refreshing reminder of what America is about and what
come to West Texas.
What athletics are about, college athletics are about. Come to West Texas, spend a weekend in Lubbock, and that was really cool to hear.
It was, and like I said, that was kind of my last point. Was it's about sports, about all the things, but also what it does for the community.
100%.
What it does for Lubbock, what it does for the surrounding areas, what it does for the young athletes to say, you know what, I don't have to go to Penn State or to Notre Dame. If you want to do that, that's great, but guess what? There's this really good team that's right here in your backyard that you can go and represent well. And I think that is a little bit more of a draw, and you're seeing some more of that as people maybe want to stay home and want to play for the Red Raiders.
Well, in what world are we living in when a quarterback like Sam Leavitt from Arizona State goes or reportedly going to go into the portal, and immediately people are like,
he's probably
is he coming to Texas Tech? And, I mean, he may or may not, who knows, but just to even be in those conversations, like immediately, and not just local people, but national people, immediately say, I wonder if that's a Texas Tech target, because they've got the resources and whatever to go out and get him if they want to. And so it's cool to be in that conversation.
Well, and that in any conversation. I mean, money-wise, it's one thing, but I think also, like, if A&M's going after a guy, guess what? You have just as good of a shot now. If Texas is, you have just as good of a shot now. But, just being able to, like you said, trust those coaches. They know how to make those parts fit. And you may have went and paid a bunch of people, but guess what? Baron Morton, Jacob Rodriguez, John Cray, all of those guys, guess what? They were already here.
100%.
And that's how you make things work. Guys who are already bought in, who are already here. And it didn't matter about the paycheck. And you can ask Jacob Rodriguez. He said, you know what? I came and slept on the floor here and gave up a full ride scholarship to be a Red Raider. That was before all this happened.
Well, and then a guy like John Curry, who goes to Coronado High School in Lubbock, and his mom is an ex-Lady Raider. They're Texas Tech people. They're Lubbock people. They're West Texas people. He's not expected to be a huge factor on this year's team, and then just the way things kind of fall, he ends up playing a critical role, and he's having a heck of a season. And but it's just a guy that is easy to root for.
Yep, it's a team that's easy to root for.
Yeah,
and I think that's why a lot of people, like you said, whether it's College Game Day, all your analytics, Barstool Sports, Snapbacks, anybody that's looking at them is like, man, it's hard to kind of put them and say they're just part of the Big 12 now.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they're
class of the Big 12.
They're one of the 6 that, hey, they got a shot.
Yeah.
They've asked a lot of people, like, rankings aside, these are the teams, the 4 or 5 teams we really think that can come
and Tech's in that conversation.
For sure.
Yep.
So,
woo. I could talk about Texas Tech all day. You're getting me excited, Chance. But
for sure.
Anyways, hey, maybe we'll have opportunities to talk more about the Red Raiders on future shows. But Chance, we will not meet here on Outside the Box next week. We'll be off doing Thanksgiving things. And so next Wednesday, no show. We will be back the following Wednesday. We'll probably preview some basketball, hopefully catch up with head basketball coach Drew Thompson. I have that interview for you, and we'll see what else we can get into. We'll talk lots of district and basketball stuff because we won't be with you for 2 weeks, Chance, but our basketball teams are not taking a break. A couple of days right at Thanksgiving, and that's about it. Lots of games between now and when we will be with you again.
For sure, and then we'll get back to our Wednesday, and then once basketball season starts,
we'll figure that out exactly.
Yep. We'll figure out how that goes because we usually, what did we do last year?
I think it was at home basketball games. We did it live on location at Antelope Gym.
Yep.
I think it's what we did last year. So maybe something similar to that again this year.
Yep. I'm excited. It's, like you said, changing from the the gridiron to the hardwood, but it's going to be fun. It's a busy time of the year, and have one last plug. Has basketball signups, they're already going, right? Or are they closed?
No, they are open. I actually signed my kid up today.
There you go.
I think they're open for a little bit, but don't delay.
Yeah.
Sign up today.
Sign up for basketball. If you have questions, reach out to Mr. Mike Magianis.
Yep, he'll get you fixed up. Should be another fun junior basketball season, as always. So, as always, Chance, good night.
God bless.
And go Lopes.